Building muscle mass requires a specific sequence of mechanical stress and nutritional intake. To gain weight without accumulating excessive body fat, you have to follow a blueprint that scales with your training experience. Weight gain and muscle gain are not synonymous. Eating a caloric surplus without a heavy lifting stimulus often results in localized fat gain, particularly in the abdominal area, rather than the development of new muscle tissue. Resistance training and caloric intake are a mandatory pair. One provides the biological signal for growth, while the other provides the raw material to execute that signal. Your total caloric intake determines the scale of your weight gain, but the mechanical load of your training determines its composition. This cross-section shows the effect of mechanical tension and metabolic stress on a muscle fiber. Under heavy physical stress, the muscle fiber develops micro-tears along its strands. The actual growth happens after the workout. When you provide the body with nutrients like protein and carbohydrates during rest, the muscle fiber repairs those micro-tears and increases its diameter to adapt to the previous workload. For beginners, the most effective way to trigger this adaptation across the body's largest muscle groups is through 3 compound movements, starting with the deadlift, then the bench press, and finally the squat. At this entry level, the nutritional goal is to establish a baseline of 100 grams of protein daily from whole sources like chicken, fish, or tofu. Whole food carbohydrates, such as oats and rice, provide the necessary energy. Supplements are unnecessary during this initial phase. Combining the high muscle recruitment of the compound lifts with a consistent whole food surplus creates the highest initial rate of hypertrophy for a new lifter. As you progress, the training structure shifts toward higher volume for specific areas. Workouts are typically capped at 60 minutes, focusing entirely on one muscle group, such as the chest or back, followed by dedicated recovery days to allow for full repair. Nutrient timing becomes more influential at this stage. Placing a high concentration of carbohydrates immediately before and after the workout window ensures the body has the fuel to lift and the glucose to begin recovery immediately afterward. To determine if you are meeting intermediate protein requirements, you can calculate a more personalized target. Multiplying your body weight in pounds by 1.8 gives you a benchmark for daily protein intake. Because intermediate volume causes more localized muscle damage, a split schedule is necessary to give each muscle group the 72 to 96 hours of rest it needs for hypertrophy. You reach a threshold of strength when you can move significant weight relative to your body mass, for example, performing working sets with 45-pound plates on the bench press. This increase in strength and muscle mass raises your daily maintenance calories. As your body requires more energy just to sustain itself, your maintenance ceiling can often climb past 2,200 calories. To continue gaining mass, you must stay in a caloric surplus. When your maintenance needs are high, eating enough whole food to exceed that number can become physically difficult. This is the specific point where weight gainer supplements are used to bridge the gap and maintain a surplus. Supplements are tools to address specific caloric volume issues. They do not replace the fundamental requirement of progressive overload in the gym. Hypertrophy requires a consistent formula: compound lifts, mechanical tension, a caloric surplus with adequate protein, and sufficient sleep. Neglecting any part of this sequence, whether the recovery provided by sleep or the hormonal stimulus from heavy leg training, undermines the entire process. For more training breakdowns, subscribe to My Bollywood Body and follow our social channels. Comment below with the muscle group you want us to analyze in the next video. Consistently applying these levels provides the direct path from baseline physique to significant muscle mass.